In today's fast-paced work environment, effective leadership communication is critical. It's critical for engaging and motivating your team members. Gallup reports that employees who receive meaningful feedback from their managers are 4 times more likely to be engaged. 4 times. But providing feedback only once a year simply falls short in elevating performance. Equally disengaging is not providing specific feedback. People can't put their hands around vagueness. Unfortunately, performance development often goes awry because of critical shortcomings in leadership communication. Consider these following scenarios. Number 1, the executive surprise. That's what I like to call it. Despite facing resource constraints and putting in extensive hours, one executive managed to surpass all performance goals. However, during the performance evaluation, the CEO unexpectedly revised the performance criteria without prior notification. See, the CEO's rationale behind this decision was due to the fact that the company's overall poor financial performance, that everyone should share equally in that responsibility because of the company's poor financial performance, even though this hardworking executive had saved the company millions of dollars and exceeded all financial goals for their area of responsibility that was agreed to at the start of the year. So this sudden alteration left an executive feeling demoralized, much like changing the finish line right after securing the first place position. Scenario 2, the sales executive misalignment. A sales executive and a team member agreed on a yearly goal only for the executive to express an expectation of significantly higher sales at year end without any prior communication or goal adjustment conversations during the year. And scenario 3 of what not to do, the unspecified complaint or unspecific complaint. A customer service manager confronted an employee about a customer complaint without providing specific feedback on what they heard and when they heard it, or even inquiring about the employee's perspective. The manager arrived at the conversation with preconceived notions, made accusations, and left the employee confused and without specific action steps for improvement. So what could these leaders have done differently? Number 1, approach with curiosity, not conclusion. Leaders should approach conversations with curiosity rather than jumping to conclusions. By asking questions and seeking to understand, they can avoid creating unnecessary drama, making hasty decisions, even damaging relationships and trust with others. 2, incorporate performance development into your company's culture. Establishing a performance development culture involves consistently following the plan, coach, review, develop, and reward process. Leaders should engage in follow-up conversations when goals change and clearly communicate any unspoken expectations. This includes even recalibrating expectations before the end of the year as needed. It's also important to provide positive, strengths-based feedback so that the team member continues to build on their success. When they have specific solutions-based feedback that aligns with desired outcomes, they have a pathway for elevating their performance. And lastly, understand human wiring. Recognizing individual differences in wiring, particularly in terms of certainty, is essential. Leaders should increase their awareness of their own communication styles to ensure clarity and alignment, and also understand the team members' communication needs and preferences. In each of the cases that I mentioned, the leader giving feedback was naturally wired lower in certainty. So what happens is leaders wired lower in certainty not only want a loosely structured work environment, but they don't need as much information to form a decision or conclusion that someone higher in certainty would need. They didn't collect information to relay it to the employees or even think through their already formed conclusions. And in some of these cases, the leader also didn't relay their unspoken expectations when it shifted from the mutual agreed upon goals. See, in each of these cases, the employee leaves deflated and without knowing what action they could take, particularly if the employee's wiring is higher in certainty. So elevating leadership communication requires a holistic and ongoing approach to giving feedback. So avoid some of these common pitfalls and embrace a culture of continuous improvement, particularly around elevating performance. And when you do, leaders can engage their teams effectively and influence breakthrough performance. I'm Lisa Minetti. Until next week, create a great life.